My name is Cordelia Moye. I think everybody here pretty much knows me. so, but then you're gonna find out some things about me that you probably didn't know. Okay? So we're gonna get started. Nate, you ready? All right. So basically, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about how I grew up and what's brought me to this point where I am right now. So I'm just going to ask everybody, if you can, to turn off your phones, put it on vibrate, and just try to get the message that I'm trying to send. So basically, my name is Cordelia Moye. I grew up in Roxbury, Massachusetts for most of my life. For the first half of my life, unfortunately, I wasn't raised with my mom. I grew up, I don't want to say in a group home or orphanage, but it was kind of like that kind of situation, me and my older sister, Matanzas. And unfortunately, she is not with us any longer, but we carry on. So basically, my story is not like a peaches and cream, like I came from the suburbs and everything was great and life was great. Life wasn't so great. And so I've been through, a lot growing up. I remember like when I was growing up in the group home, whatever, I remember as far back as age 3 is when I knew that, I don't know, I kind of have a feeling I was gonna be a fighter in life, because there were times when I lived in this group home, me and my sister, where the kids were away from their parents, right? So it was kind of, we were just kind of raised by the nuns and the priests and all this stuff. So sometimes, when you're not raised with your parents, kids get a little thrown off balance. So the kids would go crazy in these group homes. Sometimes they would have these riots and everybody would be running around, and the staff would get, they didn't know how to act with the kids. So I remember one time the kids were acting crazy one night, and I was maybe like 3, maybe 4. And one of the staff members, I don't know what, maybe she was just wanted to be mean, I don't know, maybe she didn't, I don't know what her story was, but she kind of restrained me, and she put my arm behind my back, and like she kind of had like her knee in my back, and I was just like, this is not how I want to die. At 3, I said, this is not how I want to die. I'm not going to die here like this. And so for some reason, I just, because I was trying to squirm and get away from her. I was trying to and it was like the more I was squirming, the harder she was doing. So I said, Cordelia, even at the age of 3 or 4, I said, stay still. So I stayed still because I said, if I keep moving around, this lady's gonna suffocate me. So I'm like, okay. This is how you learn how to survive. That was my first experience, survival experience, And then as time went on, I moved in with my mom when I was about 6. My sister chose to not come home, but that's fine, But anyway, so I did my little time in the street. I did all the stuff that comes along with being in the city in Roxbury. Once I moved back in with my mom, I did all these. You have your boyfriends, go through this, you go through that. You do street stuff, right? But I always knew that wasn't going to be forever for me. I knew I was destined for bigger things in my life. And I knew I was destined to be fearless, because that's one thing I never had, was fear. I've never really been in fear of anything, because I saw so much at a young age and I knew for some reason that's not an emotion I wanted to feel. So I just learned as time went on to take fear out of the equation, because fear blocks everything. Fear, nothing good comes from fear. It stops everything in your life. So my thing is, whenever I'm fearful of something, I try to tackle it now. And so that's what brings you all here, because I said, you know what? I think I need to be a motivational speaker. Why not? And I think the hot topic that kept coming up was fear. And then I would watch people, and everybody was having all this anxiety and depression and fear, and they're like, I'm not going here, and I'm not, and making excuses for why they won't change. Even little things, even the way they eat, like the clothes that they buy, the conversations that they have. I was like, why is everybody so scared? And I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna do my first motivational talk on fear. So I thank you all for coming. Yeah, so let's get started. So basically, I'm gonna touch on a few hot topics that I think just my observations and watching people lately that I think I need to talk about through discussions I've been having with people. And one of the things that I've been noticing about people is that they're stuck in jobs that they hate. They're stuck in these jobs that are making them miserable. They're going to work every day and they just look miserable. They look unhappy, their posture's bad, they're getting headaches, they're complaining, they're not nice to the people they work with. And it's basically all boils down to like, well, why don't you get a new job? Hey, I'll ask people, well, why don't you just change, get another job? Get another job. You don't like it? Well, I don't like it, but. So here's the but. So now you're making excuses to be miserable. You're making excuses to not be fearless. You're making an excuse not to change. So now it's, but I have a pension, but I have kids, but this, so it's all the buts. Everybody's saying but you have choices. You know, yeah, you can say I'm gonna stay here for 20 years, 30 years, and I'm gonna retire, and this is gonna be my pension, and yeah, I'm gonna stay here because I got my 401 and my kids, and everybody makes these excuses. But my thing is, how do you know your job is even gonna be guaranteed next week? So now, you're not taking the chance to challenge yourself to even another different career. You know, say you've been working in the restaurant business for 15 years. Why not switch it up and try to work in finance or go work in a museum or art gallery? Do something different, challenge your mind. But people don't want to do that. They want to sit in the same spot and be miserable and make excuses and put this imaginary, like they have this 20 years from now, I'm going to retire, I'm going to have a 401. How do you know you have 20 years? How do you know the company won't fold and you'll lose all of that? And then you have to restart again. So why get comfortable? You know, never be comfortable. You know, always be ready to change and evolve. So, and just through talking to people, I'm just watching like, it's like, wow, people really go to their jobs and they hate it. They hate it, they look miserable, they sit there sulking all day. And I'm like, just go change, you know, and they make their home lives bad. Their children suffer from it because the children notice when you're not happy. Children see it, they feel it, you know. And then 20, 30 years from now, when you're in your 70s, your kid will come to you and say, wow, you know, I watched you, you were miserable. And wow, you were miserable. Why did you stay at that job? You hated it. And you're not noticing that they're noticing that, you know? So it's like, even in that aspect, the fear keeps people, it's stuck in that place. They're scared. They're like, I can't get another job. I'm not qualified. My skill, they're scared. And they sit there in fear and just sit. Like, wow, and it's like, and I'm sitting there like, okay, this is awesome. You know, I'm living my life. I'm going from job to job because, I love to temp. That's my thing. But it's like, I'm experiencing new things, new computer systems, new software. I'm meeting new people. I'm having a great time. And so I'm bopping around all the time like this is fun, you know, and everybody's looking at me like, okay, this sucks. Why is she having so much fun and we're sitting here miserable? It's because I'm constantly challenging myself to learn new things, see new people, you know, conquer my fears. I walk into situations, I have no idea what I'm walking into. I go in blind. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but I'm not scared of it. It's fun to me, it's a challenge, because I've learned to just overcome that and just keep evolving, you know. So I think even with the job situations, I think a lot of people need to just change, because nothing's guaranteed. You're really not guaranteed anything. I mean, people's ego makes them think that something's guaranteed to them. You know, like you're owed something. You know what I mean? Like they get laid off and they're like, I made that company so much money. You didn't make them any money. You didn't do anything for them, because guess what? They'll replace you. You didn't do anything. It's your fault if the ball drops, because you're scared to evolve. So then when the ball drops, it's kind of like, well, now what do I do? Now what do you do? Now, this is exactly what you do. Now what do you do? Now what do you do? This is the challenge, right? What do you do? Either you start evolving and you swim, or you sink. Nothing's guaranteed to you, you know? I remember a couple of years ago, I got laid off. I had a job. I loved my job. I loved it. It was great. I got along with everybody. Thick as thieves. We loved each other. I got laid off. And for some reason, instead of sinking, I said, this is the best thing that's ever happened in my life. And they were like, you're the happiest laid off person I've ever met. Is she crazy? And I'm like, I'm not crazy. I just thought it was like, there's something good's gonna happen out of this. Instead of choosing to sulk and sit in the house and drink and be miserable and blame it on this person and that person, why is this happening? I just took life and I ran with it. And the funny thing is, I started temping after I got laid off, and so started seeing different people, new things, and I would go to all these different jobs, and I would come back and I would tell like my friends the stories about the characters I met at these places. And so one person said to me one time, you know, you should write a book. And I laughed it off, and I literally was like, yeah, that's so funny, write a book. I've never written anything in my life. So then someone else says to me, you know, you should write a book, because I kept meeting all these different characters, and I'm like, okay, these people in these offices are nuts. So and I would just imitate people, and next thing you know, someone else said to me, you should write a book, and I said, I think I will. So I went home and I wrote this book called The Temp Assignment, and once I finished that, I was like, wow, I wrote a book. It's amazing. And so then I wrote another one, and now I'm 8 books in, working on my 9th book. And it all started because I got laid off from my job, and I decided to take lemons and make lemonade, as they say. And so now I'm like, and I love it. And so that's brought me on the journey to songwriting. And now I know that anything's possible. I always challenge myself more and more and more to see something different. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself, you know? Because life's too short, and life's too short. You got to keep it moving. But yeah, so, and that goes on to another topic that I want to discuss but basically listening to yourself. As me and a friend were discussing, being self-centered, and people take self-centered as that's a bad thing. Like self-centered, that's bad. I'm not supposed to be self-centered because you're supposed to help other people. And okay, but let's really think about this word. Well, let's think about it. The 2 words, self-centered. Think about it. That's not a bad thing, right? So, or did someone make it a bad thing along the way? Because being self-centered is probably the most normal thing you can be. Because if you're self-centered and you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, then you're in tuned to other people's needs, because you're so self-centered, like you're so comfortable with yourself. You're literally your own best friend that you can now give to other people because you know yourself, right? You can't have friends unless you show yourself friendly. So if you're friends with yourself, then, okay, once you're self-centered, then you can start looking at everybody else and saying, okay, let me share with you. Since I know me, I can now share, right? So it's like you have to listen to yourself, because one thing I've learned is people will kill your spirit because they can't do it. People, they're not strong, right? They're not strong. And so they want you to be weak and in fear with them, right? Because once you know the sound of your own voice and you're in tune with yourself, Life is limitless. Nothing can stop you, right? Nothing can stop you. I remember I was living in my apartment for 10 years, seeing the same walls every day, and I'm like, you know what? This has got to stop. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm moving. I'm just gonna move to California. Oh, you know, there's an earthquake. If you move, do you know anybody there? Aren't you scared? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your stuff? What are you gonna do with your bills? Aren't you afraid? And so I put my life on hold for a year, listening to the sound of other people's voices. Because I'm like, I can't do that. So I stayed in my apartment for another year, miserable. Miserable, miserable, miserable. Same routine, looking at the same walls every day. You know what I mean? Not meeting anybody. I'm like, this is getting too much. So one day, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm leaving. Oh, I'm leaving. I packed all my stuff. I had a cat. I've owned him for years. I gave him away because he needs to be fearless too and start a new life. So see you later. Packed up, moved to California, had a great time. There was no earthquake. Nothing happened. But you guys had a monster snowstorm. So it's kind of like the equivalent of an earthquake. So who got played, right? Nothing happened. The boogeyman didn't get me. I was out there by myself. I was living my life. I was writing good songs. I was having a great time, living my life. It was a journey. So I had fun. Okay, but then the Patriots, I watched the Super Bowl, and they won, and I got homesick. So I said, okay, let me go back to Boston, because I missed the accent, I missed the whole thing. So I said, let me move home for a little bit and upstart my businesses and my songwriting and things like that. So I moved back, but this is the thing. If I would have just kept listening to people, you know, you can't do that. You can't do this. You know what I mean? Oh, you can't write. You can't write. You can't write this way. You can't live like this way. You can't live like, no. This is the way I live it. And I'm saying to myself, wow, there's a lot of people projecting their fears on me that I've never said anything. Like, I've never said that I was afraid to move to California. I've never said I was afraid of an earthquake. But I was noticing that every fear that they had, they were telling me. Like, have you ever had a conversation with someone and you're telling them what you plan to do, and then they start saying, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I would do it like this. Oh, no. And you're like, well, I'm gonna go over here. Oh, I wouldn't go there because I like it here. And I'm saying they're diminishing their own shine, you know, because yes, you can. You know, yes, you can. You can go to California, too. You can go to New York. Anywhere you want to go. Nobody's stopping you. But it's like, I think sometimes it's intimidating to watch someone else be fearless while you're in fear. So it's kind of like, okay, nope, I can't move to California. Oh no, I can't write a book. Oh no, if I wrote a book, oh, I don't even know where to start. But secretly they dream to do it. They secretly dream to do the same exact thing that you're doing. But since they feel that they don't have it in them, their head is speaking out loud. Oh, I couldn't do that. I can't dance. I can't sing. I can't. Oh, no. They're diminishing their shine, right? Because everybody's powerful. Human beings are powerful people. We're powerful beings. We just don't tap into it. Because I can't, I won't, I can't. Let me tell you something. You can do whatever you want. Nobody's stopping you, right? You're stopping yourself. You can do whatever you want to do, right? All you need is $1 and a dream. All you need is a pen and a pad. Everybody has gifts, you know? But people, they're ashamed of their gifts. They're ashamed of being powerful. They're ashamed of being bright and magnificent, right? Because I always say it, I said it before, we're constantly evolving. We can be molded and crafted so many different times that you'll be amazed at the things you can do if you just block out everybody and listen to the sound of your own voice, right? Because only you know what you're capable of. But if you're letting other people tell you what you're capable of, who are you? Who are you? No, really, who are you? Do you even know who you are? If you listen to everybody's voices, how do you hear your voice? Who are you? You know? And this was a self-centered, going back to being self-centered. Center yourself, know yourself, so that way you can live the full life experience. Then then when you talk to people, you, instead of saying, I wouldn't do that, you listen to them and listen to what they're saying to you and say, yeah, so then what happened after you wrote the book? And then what happened when you moved? Like, you'll want to know what's going on with them. You won't start telling all that stuff that you can't do that's in your head to them. If I ask you, hey, you know, look at these shoes. I got these blue shoes. Oh, I couldn't wear blue shoes because blue shoes don't look good with my skin color. Oh no, because blue shoes are okay. No, blue shoes aren't. I don't like them. I don't like them. You see what I'm doing? I didn't ask you why you can't wear blue shoes. I'm telling you that I bought them. See? Once you're self-centered, you can say, well, that's awesome. So you're going to get another color later? You're not going to start throwing off all the stuff that you can't do or you can't wear on that person because you feel like you can't do it. Self-centered. When you're self-centered, you can listen to other people because they're not intimidating to you. They're not intimidating you. When someone's intimidating you, you get defensive, or you say, oh, I'm going to drive you, I'm going to do this, and you can't do that, No. Be self-centered, know yourself. It's not a bad word. It's a pretty awesome word. But you really have to block out everybody's voice. Because people nowadays are very negative, and they want to dump all their crap on you. And life's really too short for that. You know, you just have to go and be your own best friend. Go try something new. Go to the movies by yourself. Go on a trip by yourself. Go to a concert by yourself. You know, get to know yourself. You live it in your body, but you're scared to spend time with yourself. What's the problem? Nobody knows you're at the movies by yourself except for you. Nobody's paying any attention to you. You think a room full of 30 people, 40 people are going to just center in on you and say, hey, Joe's at the movies by himself. They don't know you. The only person that knows you're there by yourself is yourself. You know? You have to learn how to be self-centered because at the end of the day, you're living in your body and you have to deal with you. Why do you need 5 people to come to a concert with you? Why do you need 2 people to go to the movies with you? What's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you that you need that? Right? You go to bed at night alone. You were born alone. You're most likely going to die alone. So why do we need all these people surrounding us all the time? Be self-centered. And I'm glad I had that conversation with my friend and that day because we came to, I was like, yeah, we were just talking like self-centered. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, self-centered's not that bad, right? But yeah, I just think if you just know yourself, it can take you on so many adventures, and life is so fun if you just learn how to live it the right way. It could be so fun, and if you, in all these experiences, oh my God. I read a quote one time and said, if you live life the right way, it can seem like you've lived very long, because you've done so much. You're like, okay, now what am I gonna do for the next 30 years? Like, I've done so much. What's that? Until you keep challenging yourself. But that's the fun. That's the fun, you know? So if you're having fun and you're living your life, it seems long. It's because it's like, wow. But if you're just kind of like floating around, I don't know what I want to do, and what am I doing, and I'm wasting time, and what are we gonna do? I'm not happy here. I'm not happy in my marriage, my kids, my boyfriend, my girlfriend. I'm just floating. Why am I here? Not finding a meaning. You can't make your family a meaning of your life. You can't make your kids the meaning for your life, because that answer's too easy. It's just too easy. If someone says, hey, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What's your dreams? What do you want? Oh, I'm my kids and my husband and my... That's just too easy. Because that means you don't want to dig deep. You're just saying some on the surface stuff that everybody... You're sticking to the script. You're just telling people what they want to hear. But secretly, in your room at night, there's something you want to be. There's something you dream about doing. Not fooling me. You know, there's something you want to do. And you're just like, huh. And it could be something simple. It could be something like being a florist. It could be something like, I don't know, being a hairdresser. But everybody has dreams, and everybody has secret desires that they want, that they've wanted when they were a kid. And you're not fooling anybody. You know what I mean? You just suppress it. You just suppress it, and you think it's never gonna happen. I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that. You know, I'm not good enough for this. Nobody's gonna listen. Look at me. This is my first motivational talk. I have no idea what I'm doing. But this is the fun part. After this, I'm like, this was awesome. I did it. Like, you know, I did it. You know what I mean? And that was one of my goals. I said, when I move back to Boston, I'm going to go into motivational speaking. Everybody's like, oh, how are you going to do that? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. How are you going to do it? See, this is those voices again. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to get into that? I said, I'm just going to do it. I pick up the phone. I called the library. I said, hey, I want to do a motivational talk. When you want to do it? I was like, okay, that was easy, right? I just picked up it wasn't hard. They didn't charge me. I just picked up the phone. Okay, I'm going to do it this day. Okay, cool. She booked it, and now I'm here, right? And now I can say I did it. Even if I never do another one again, at least I can say I did it. Not many people can do that because their ideas stay in their head, right? And they're ashamed to admit it because they're like, oh no, people think I'm crazy if I tell them that I want to be, I don't know, a feng shui artist. Or people will think I'm crazy if I tell them I want to be a painter. People will think of, and so they never do it because those voices, and they never do it, you know? But the difference between me and everybody else is I just do it, you know what I mean? And this is what adds to my life experiences. This is what adds to my stories. You know, like for me, I already feel like I'm 90. I'm like, what can I do now? I'm like, after this is over, I'm gonna be like, okay, I did a motivational talk and I filmed it. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like this is something I'm gonna be able to sit back, another story, I'm gonna be able to sit back and tell people, like, wow, like, how did you do that? Well, this is what I did, and this is what I did. And someone once told me, and at the time I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, they said, you got a story for everything. I was like, I do. But that's not bad. That's pretty awesome. I was like, I do got a story for everything, don't I? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Because it's like, this is what makes life. You're supposed to have a story for everything. Why is your story always just stopping at this? Or your kids? And don't get me started on the weather. If I hear one more person talk to me about the weather, I'm going to scream. There are other subjects to talk about besides the weather. But people don't want to go there, right? They don't want to go there. So I've learned to just, you know what I do to people now? I kind of mess them a little bit and make them get in their own heads because I'm not talking about the weather all the time. And I'm not talking about kids. And I'm not talking about what people had for dinner. And I'm not talking about husbands and wives and who wants to lose weight and who wants to, I don't care. I don't care who wants to lose weight. I don't care. You know, what I care about, so this is what I started doing to people. Hey, Cordelia, how you doing? I'm like, good. Okay, yeah. And they want to start having small talk with me, and I'm like, oh, what do you dream about? And they're like, huh? Like, what do you dream about? Like, when you were a kid, what did you want to do? I didn't think, and I could see their wheel turn, like, I didn't think the conversation was going to go like that. I thought she was going to stick to the script and ask me about the weather or ask me about my kids or something, so I don't even know how to answer this. And it stumps people because they're so used to sticking to the script that when you throw a real human question at them, it throws them off. You know? Like, what inspires you? When you woke up this morning, what was the first thought that went through your head? Oh, I didn't know she was going to ask me that. You know? And I noticed gradually you start talking to people, and everybody starts saying, well, you know, and then they get excited. They're like, well, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to do this, and I make scented oils, and I do this. And I'm like, wow, everybody's an artist in hiding. Why is everybody an artist in hiding? Why? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's funny because it's kind of like everybody does have a spirit of wanting to do something more, and everybody does have a spirit of adventure, but they're kind of like suppressing it to kind of, I don't know, maybe make other people feel good or make other people feel comfortable around them. But my whole thing is I'm all about adventure. I'm all about talking about things that make you happy, talking about, you know, your feelings. What are you feeling? What do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do to enrich your life, right? So you can, I don't know how to say it without, how you can live your life so when it's time to check out, you're ready to check out. Like you've done everything you wanted to do, you've seen everything you wanted to see, and that's how it is. So this is brings me to my next subject, and I know this is gonna freak some people out because this is another fear that people have, but I'm sorry to tell you, but it's gonna happen. And this goes back to living a happy life. Because at some point, and I hate to say, I need to bear bad news, and I hate to say the elephant that's in the room that everybody knows, we're all gonna die. I'm gonna die. Nobody's here forever. This is not a Twilight. We're not vampires. We're not living forever. We're not immortal. We're mortals, right? So you have to live your life literally like every day is your last day, because that's another part of living the life experience. Like every day I just live like it's my last. Every day I'm like jumping around like I'm a kid. And everybody's like, what's wrong? Like, Cordelia, you're happy today. Like, what you flying around for? Like, you're just kind of jumping around. And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So every day, literally, I live my life to the fullest. I live every single day. And that's not some phrase, like people say that, but people don't really do that. That's just like, I'm gonna live every day like it's my last. They don't. They don't. They go to work, my kids, and make them dinner, I'm gonna go, here's my husband, here's my boyfriend. No, literally, I live every day like with a whole set of new eyes. I see everything. I try to see the beauty in everything. I try to look at something, and I get excited about it, like, wow, this is awesome, you're gonna do that? And everybody's like, wow, you're excited about that. And I'm like, I literally live my life without fear of death. I just do. And that's a part of me just like looking at everything new, like a kid, like, wow, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, what's awesome about that? That's just a little piece of, that's a flower. That's what's awesome about a flower. But I look at everything like literally. I live that way. Like every day is my last day. That's the way, and it keeps me like that. It keeps me energetic. It keeps me wanting to experience new things and eat new foods and go somewhere I've never been before and talk to someone I never thought I would talk to, or you know what I mean? Like everybody has a story. I just find a beauty in everything. I sit down and talk to everybody. You know what I mean? And I'll be out with some of my friends at the time. I'm like, why are you talking to that person? And I'm like, because they're awesome. Everybody has a story. You know what I mean? And I always want to know, and I always want to learn. I always want to have new experiences. I always want to know, and so that's what keeps me fearless. Being fearless, I'm not afraid to know that I'm a mortal person, because I'm so aware of it that I know I have to embrace every moment. I don't have time to sit around and wallow in the muck and be sad and woe is Cordelia, We've all been through stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I lost my sister to suicide. I've been through abusive relationships. We've all been through it, you know what I mean? I've been homeless before. I've been all of that. You know what I mean? So I can walk a mile in everybody's shoes, pretty much. You know what I mean? So, and that's the beauty too, because it's like, and that makes me appreciate what I have so much more. It makes me want to live so much more because I've been down to the bottom. And you know what they say, once you've been to the bottom, there's nowhere to go but back up, right? So once I'm aware, or once we're aware, we're not here forever, like really aware of it, like really truly aware, then you can start living, you know? Because everybody's so cautious, you know? They're too aware of that part of life. They're like, oh, let me be careful not to bump my head, let me be careful not to get into an accident. You can be so careful where you're just not living. So basically you're waiting to die in your subconscious because you're not having fun. Go take a chance, go do something. You know what I mean? Go be free, go on an adventure, go, right? Because then you won't have these fears, right? You won't have these fears of being alone. You won't have these fears of dying alone. You won't have these fears of, you'll just be like, damn, okay, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm not in control, because you're not. I'm sorry, everybody with an ego in the house, but surprise is, you're really not in control, right? Are you really? You could have an earthquake right now, what you gonna do? You can do nothing. So once you're aware of that, you just go live your life. Just go live, man. Life's a very fun adventure if you live it the right way. And just take fear out of your mind. It's just a confounding emotion. And yeah, I'm an enemy of fear. It's not a friend of mine. But yeah, I just want to conclude with I thank everybody for coming out, and I just want to express to everybody, just follow your heart, follow your dreams, whatever you want to do in your life, just do it. You know, just do it. Nothing's stopping you from living a fulfilling life except for you. You know, and you spend so much time with in your own skin that you shouldn't be afraid of yourself. You know, follow your heart. Be kind to people you meet, because you never know. That might be the person giving you your next job, to leave the job that you hate. So, I'm just saying. So, you know, I would say, you know, just try, every day just try something new. Every day just try to talk to someone that you normally wouldn't talk to. Try new food that you probably would never, that you thought you would hate. You know what I mean? Just do something to challenge your fear. Go to a concert alone. Go to the movies alone. Try something by yourself. Because once you're telling people that you're trying to be fearless, they're going to try to get you back into the fear with them. Sometimes just shut off your phone, don't answer it, and just go. Don't tell your kids, don't tell your parents, don't tell anybody. Just go. And you'll be like, wow, this wasn't so bad. Like, I've been afraid of this all this time, and nothing happened. So basically, to conclude, I just want to say, you know, follow your heart, you know, and be fearless, because we're all very bold and strong, and the human spirit is very strong. And yeah, so learn to be self-centered and learn to be fearless. And thank you for coming out. All right.